So hello guys, today we are learning some new emerging topics which is website footprinting, where we know how to do footprinting of that particular website. We will use some of the tools like WHOIS, nslookup, dig. It was concluded this is a part of web penetration testing and ethical hacking, where we know how to perform scanning or footprinting so we can gain some information. This is a part of information gathering, which is a phase of ethical hacking. So this is comes under the passive reconnaissance. What does the passive reconnaissance means? It means we do not need to interact with the target. So without interacting with the target, you will receive some information, you can gain some information. So that's how passive reconnaissance which means. So for now, this is our course series, so let's proceed. First of all, the question arises, what is the footprinting? So first of all, we will go for the formal definition. The process of collecting publicly available information about a target website or a domain is known as website footprinting. So it can be passive reconnaissance. So it may be passive reconnaissance techniques that doesn't interact directly with the target or the gather domain ownership, server details, DNS information, and another things. So it can be used by the security professional also and the attackers also. So the footprint scans, or you can say it's a tool where we perform passive and then the domain. So this how the things works, the key concepts, the non-intrusive reconnaissance, and we can say the uses publicly available information. And this is the first phase of security testing. So this is how a website footprinting mean, and let's proceed to how to do a website footprinting. So for the project's goal and objectives, the main goal is perform passive reconnaissance on websites using WHOIS, nslookup, dig to gather some technical details and information without interacting with the target. That's what passive. I have told you how passive reconnaissance working. So first of all, we need to find what are the tools we are using. So the name of the tools are WHOIS, nslookups, digs. These are the simple tools which we use to perform reconnaissance, collecting the domain ownership and the information regarding IP addresses, DNS records, and server details. So the disclaimer I want to give you, this project is for educational purpose only. Don't try and misuse or use these techniques on unauthorized target and get some information for some misuse. So always do these things ethically. So what are the learning objectives? Identify domain ownership registration details by using the command WHOIS or tool, and map domains to IP address with nslookups, queries, and analyze DNS record using dig. Compile the result into the structured footprinting report and understand the security implementation of public information. So the tool overview, what are the tools we are using? We are using WHOIS tool for domain registration information lookup tool, which reveals some domain owner details, registration dates, expiration dates, registrar information, and name servers configuration. So you can see that simply we can use the WHOIS command, and the example.com is the target of our it's our target where we have to perform this reconnaissance process. And if we jump into the another tool which is nslookup, so DNS query tools for IP mapping and records. So the map domain names to the IP address, queries specify DNS records like MX, AAA, and different types of records where we can see in further in this course, and identify some mail servers, provides name server details, ns lookups, and you can find some other information also. When it's come to part of dig, advanced DNS query tool, which have some details outputs, some additional information regarding what are the tools, what are the record types they are using, the record analysis of DNS. So this is how work. So these three tools where we are focusing in this particular lecture. So for available platforms, you can go for Windows one, command prompt, cmd, powershell, or linux terminal, or it can be run also in macOS also. And for major alternative, if you don't know how to install and go for how to perform, how to install, then you must use the alternative which are present in the like web application format. So you find some websites where you can perform WHOIS, nslookup, and dig also. So I already told you what is passive versus active reconnaissance. Passive is like gathering information without interaction or without direct interaction, but in actively we are engaging with target system. The system knows, get the some logs and traces that we are try to interact with them. So there must be a legal boundaries, respect the privacy and policies. Don't go and perform these reconnaissance processes on different organization which are not grant a permission to perform any types of information gathering on their particular organization. So always be with legals, consider judiciary differential and cybersecurity's law. Always have information, always have permission, then you have to do any ethical work or unethical work and have some ethical consideration. So what are the overviews we have covered? First of all, there is WHOIS. I already told you how to use WHOIS tool. For primary uses, we are using, we can compare our tools. What are the tools we can use for different purposes? For primary use, domain registration, we get some information regarding domain. And for nslookup, it will work on a dns lookup kind of thing. You will get the dns records, ip address records. And for dig, it's an advanced version of, or we can say, of nslookup, where it will give some advanced dns queries and detailed dns information. So for now, who is lookup? Okay, the introduction. What is who is a protocol and database service that provide information about the registered domain, including ownership details, registration data, functions as a public directory of a domain registration. So let's we try and get some information with using this tool. If we go for an example, there is a perfect example where you can use the terminal running the host and extract some domain registration information. So for now, we will go for a practical thing and we will try to get our Kali Linux. And with that, we will go for the cmd. For check who's, we will always type who's command, so we will get if the tool is working on our cmd or not. So we must go for whois command and we will go for tesla.com and we try to get some passive reconnaissance on this particular tesla domain, and we will get some information regarding registrar and their expiration and what is the registration, what are the names, and further details. So let's wait. This network is unreachable. First of all, we have to try the ping command and we will try to get some packets if the tesla.com is working or not. So as you can see, tesla is not pinging back and giving any response. So for that, we will try to get some another thing. So we will try hack me, the platform, and if you don't, it's a platform of where we perform security testing. We will know and learn fundamental of cyber security. They will provide some rooms. So after that, we will try to use our whois command on our try hack me. You can go for any other one, but always remember, if it's, I'm just using for the publicly available domains. So as you can see, we get some information regarding try hack me. What is the domain id, the register url, the updated date or the creation, the registry expiry date, as I told you, the status, the name server, kip.ns.cloudflare.com, and you will get some more information regarding these. And you will get some registry databases information. So as you can see, we will get some email, some facts, some IDs, what are the cities from they are controlling the things, what are their country code, what are their publicly available phone numbers, what are they use, their email, and other kind of stuffs. We can also get some information regarding admins, like admin postal code, admin country. This is the admin server where it's running, so we will get the city, we will get the street also. So that's how this tool will fetch some information which is nearly sensitive, and it's totally passively, so it does not interact with that particular DNS, or we can say our try hack me challenge. So after that we will go for the further things. So after we have performed these things, we will get some registered domains, registered URL, registrar, WHOIS server, the city, and other things. For the key information, you will get that creation date, as I already performed this on a practical on my system. The expiration, the name server also we will get, for if you remember the NIP, the Cloudflare one. So for interpreting WHOIS data for security analysis, what you can do or think how a security analysis will work. For how security analysts work by using WHOIS, as you can see, you can go for domain history, you can go for registration details, the creation dates, a technical context, like we see as a domain, server name, or the admin phone number, the publicly available Gmail, or some different kind of information regarding that admin or the server. So for the high risk signal, as you can see, the creation date not must be lower than 30 days, or it must not be for private proxy registration. For financial sites, you can go and find some financial sites also. For medium one, you can see the short expiration period must not be there, the recent registrar change is not there, inconsistent contact information is not there. For the trust signal, you can go for the complete verification of contact details, long established domain, as you can see how much time has already happened that their establishment of domain has they have, and the ownership of the history. So these are the things we have to look up on that, and we will find as a security indicator if you are working as a security analyst. So for the another tool, which is nslookup, you will get some introduction about what is nslookup. It's a command line tool, or we can say a CLI tool for querying DNS, domain name system server, to obtain domain name or IP address mapping information. From here we can get how the addresses are mapped to their DNS systems like domain names, and you will get some specific information like related to mail server exchange record, what's the name server they are using, the tax records. So these are some queries. Or you can also get if they're using IPv4 and IPv6 address records. So the basic usage, as you just need to go for nslookup, the example.com, and you will get the this query run on your terminal, and you will get the information. For a specific type of Amex services, mail server, as a sign of mail server, you can get for your particular target what mail server they are running on their particular DNS. And this is how the things work. For the practical demonstration, as you can see, they are using the server of 8.8.8, and they provide some non-authoritative answers and some different types of information. So for that, this is the things how will work. So for now we will go and check for nslookup also. You can go and check for online purpose also, alternative of that CLI command tool. You just get in here, use your login, or if you don't want to log in, you can simply use here. Just if we want any kind, just select some target, just select some target, like for the previous one we used try me. So this is the suggestion, we will go with that. Then boom, you will get some DNS records, like what are the IP address they are using, what are the AAA. It's if it's 4A, then it must be a IPv6, so that you can get the IPv6 address also. And for the TXT record, you can go for this also, and for TXT data also. And if you want to do, we also can check if my machine has that particular tool or not. So first of all, I will try to check nslookup, the name not is lookup. So we have that particular thing. So for now we will try for our previous target, tryhackme.com, or hit enter. As you can see, you will get some information, what are the servers and their addresses, and some non-authoritative answers, like these are maybe their addresses which are publicly available. So we will try to get some packets from here, and we will send some ICMP packets on this particular IP address. So as you can see, they are responding. We sent 2 packets of ICMP and we will get back. So the packet is transmitted, 2 received, 0 packet loss. It's mean the host is up right now. So this is how you will get the information regarding the IP address and the DNS which they are using. So for now, we will jump into our thing. Okay, so for the dig introduction, we will get and some try to learn some advanced queries. So for domain information grouper, that's the full name of dig, a flexible DNS lookup utilities that provides that provides detailed DNS information with advanced querying capabilities. As you can see the definition, it's more powerful than nslookups. It's for nslookup, it's a simple thing which will provide us some types of things, sometimes of specific information regarding the server or the mail server. But for dig, we can go further, uh, more information with some advanced queries. So for now, we will see that display complete DNS response and some query details with flags and answers, which we will not get it from this tool. So, and for the DNS records types, I already told you, A for work for IPv4, and 4A it's like for IPv6, and MX for mail exchange server, and NS for the name server, what is the name they are using on that particular server, TXT for text record, and CNOM for canonical name. What's canonical name? It's a kind of name which they are using rather than the DNS. So this is how the dig will work. So we will see the practical demonstration. So we just need to go and type dig on our CLI, among our Linux CLI, or we can say command cmd on our Windows operating system. So for dig, we need to use that particular our target IP address or the DNS, and it's automatically work and try to find out the answers and give us the results, what are the queries, what are their servers. And we can also use some commands, additional commands, like as you can see, for basic we just need to go for dig and type some domain.com, and for record types we can go for dig and then our target, and then we need to precise, or we can say tell that particular tool so what types of information we need. For all record we can go for type just any, and it will extract all the records from there. So as you can see, now we get back to our Kali machine. Now we will try to get is the dig is here or not. Dig and help. So the dig is running maybe. Yes, as you can see, the dig is working absolutely fine. So we just need to type dig, and maybe we can go for google.com or the same one, the tryhackme.com. So we must try for tryhackme once. So after typing, as you can see, the dig will work absolutely fine. It will get some header with the answer, and you can see it will get the server of Indian server of the tryhackme. And in Indian servers, if the a sign does mean that it is using IPv4, and same goes for the answer section. Sorry, you can, as you can see, this is same goes for answer section. The two IP addresses, which is IPv4 we got, and for all other records we will type any command with the previous command, and we will get extract all other informations also. As you can see, we will get some code and some hinfo, as you can see in this, and these are the information. So for that, we can use some custom DNS server also. As you can see, we will use dig at the rate 8. We will try this one also, dig at the rate 80808, and we will try to get our tryhackme one. So this is the main server which is used by the Google. So yes, so this is how it will work. We can go for custom DNS servers also. So for security application, validates the records are configured correctly, and for SPF records, check email security configuration and compare the result for DNS poisoning. DNS poisoning is also a type of attack where we need to look up with that things. So it's can be considered as a security indicators with using this simple tool. So for the DNS records, explain types as I already told you, but for this one we will discuss in a brief. So what is DNS record? Domain name system record that's map domain names to a specific value or server. So the records will tell us which of the particular IP address will map to their specific server or any value. So for A, as I already told you, it's IPv4 address, and you will get the simple syntax and real life example point website to the IP server IP. Sorry. So for 4A, quadral 4A's, you can say it will map domain to IPv6 addresses. As you can see, this is the example of syntax. For MX, it's specify for mail server. For NS, it's specify for name server. And for TXT, it's stored text information. And for CNAME is its type of name, or we can say alias. Sorry, it's alias of name. Like it, the different name can be work on particular browser also. So for security significance, as you can see, this txt1 can reveal some specific information like SPF and some policies, and this mail server can also reveal some infrastructure regarding which are the servers where we are using in the backend, if we thinking as a company. And multiple A records suggest load balancing. So by using some knowledge and scanning with proper implementation, we will get to know what types of load balancing they are using with using this A record. So this is how the dig tool will work. And for compiling a footprinting report, if you need a report to generate in footprinting, so first of all you need to identify your findings, some patterns, vulnerabilities, and security insights. So the information we need to give the IP addresses, the name server, the MX, SPF, as we already discussed about all of these information type. For information, if register that we have implemented for try me, but for here it's a good ID. For the creation date, we have to mention what we have fetched on our system. IP addresses, as we get IP address of that try me one. And for name server, we also, and MX server, we also get mail server from that. And we must tell them what the tools we are used, like we used WHOIS, nslookup and dig. And you can also tell them what query used for specific information, and the risk level also defined by CVSS, or you can also identify as an indicator or with the indicators also. So the data analysis, what this report finds, it's a 6-year-old established presence. I already told you the domain registered must be already 3-year old, and it must not be new. And for infrastructure, using multiple subdomains with varying purpose. And you can also look for security insights. What are the insights? There's misconfiguration of SPF records, or the recommendation we can provide as a security analyst. And now, how the real world application and the case study is there. As we have already told you, we can try to get some information. We can go for dig. We have already performed our dig practical, but for the last thing, we will go with this one. We will try to extract something different. We will try to go for godaddy.com with a txt information if we can get. Okay, so the text information we can get with this godaddy.com. This is a site. As you can see, this is the official sites. Okay, so what are the text information? You can also use some grep in this. Just use some piping on that and grep command to get some information like SPF files or MX we can also use. So firstly we go for with MX. So we doesn't find with anything regarding MX. And for SPF we find one thing, that this may be revealing some sensitive information, so it must be considered as a security incident, or not the incident but for indicator. So you can, as we I perform this, you can also use this command and fetch some information. So with that, we get the information with that. When the security implications, like it's a excessive information disclosure. With information disclosure, it's enable the targeted attacks. So we must consider that our information must not be disclosed, and we need to perform regular footprinting audits to strengthen our security posture. And we need to balance the information sharing with security requirements. So we must look up these things and try to perform these types of tools. So we firstly perform our tool. We will know what is WHOIS tool and what is nslookup tool, and the dig one also. We have performed some basic implementation of practical session with this. We will get to try some practical examples with try me and the godaddy one. So these types of tools are used to perform passive reconnaissance. So you must know how to use this one if you're working as a security analyst, as a penetration tester, or an ethical hacker. So you also must know about the DNS record types, which I already explained you, the security significance, and the compiling a footprinting report. And we will study a real world application, for not now, but we already performed some practicals and some methodologies we can use. So for the best practices, and we can say the countermeasures of security we can implement, if the security risks are identified like exposed infrastructure, mail server leakage, that's we will check for SPF1. And for the domain owner details. So you must check for the WHOIS protection services. DNS monitorings always try to monitor your all services. Need to know the principle, the minimize expose DNS information, so not the further information or excessive information could be exposed. So these are the types of security measures, or we can say countermeasures we can use. So for best practices for DNS security, we can implement DNS checks, use some different regular files on edit audits. And for the we can use some domain management, we can implement some 2FA and document footprinting risk, and regularly provide some footprinting audits and generate reports to strengthen our security. So for the conclusion of this particular lecture, the course summary, you will know what is domain ownership, how to get extract some domain ownership, IP of that particular target, how to get the DNS record, mail server record, and you can combine all types of these information for your security analysis and try to get something that if your server which can be had some information exposure and it can be vulnerable and it must be get targeted, so you must use these kind of scanning footprinting methods on your target or your company to provide some best practices security. So for the next steps, these techniques try with your own domains, some authorized testing environment, must use the Kali Linux and some publicly available, or go for the permitted one only, and try to get some continual learning with us and have some advanced course with network scanning, enumeration, VAPT, and web application security. Apply your knowledge, improve your organization security posture, have some input in our country and provide some good security to our country. So that's, and always remember, do always do ethically work what you are doing, don't go for any authorized thing. So always remember this one point. And for the additional resources, you can go for tech zones, and you can get some command cheat sheet and practice lab with us and stay get connected and join our cybersecurity community with these types of interactive sessions where you learn some tools, methodologies, and have a good career in cybersecurity. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.